because I think masculinity, even based on the previous conversations and just things that we see generally, the conversations being had, videos being shared on the internet, etc., is being erased, is being redefined, is being replaced. What? We shall see. Men are expected to provide, but they can't. We really just can't. We're expected to lead, but we're not trusted to do so. We're expected to be soft, but also be strong at the same time. It's like Schrodinger's man. Soft, you're hard, you're vulnerable, but at the same time, you're Superman. I think the real question here that we're talking about is, are men still needed?
Well, I watched your last episode concerning masculinity, and I listened to Cross's definition about it back then, and I had something to add to it. I was going to ask you that in all the things you mentioned, being strong, being stoic, being respected or seen as, or getting respect from people, being able to care for people, protect people, these are things that can be done and should be done by men and by women. So it's not, you said even for femininity, it's about being supportive, being cooperative, being nurturing. These are also things that can be done by men. So when you say masculinity is in crisis, I'm going to ask you, what about masculinity do you really think is in crisis? We still have men. Men are still being men. Women are still being women. So what about masculinity do you think is in crisis?
I mean, I think this is one of those interesting things in that I think there's an interesting conflation here between the expectations of what men should be versus the reality of what people actually expect men to be. So there's this idea that, and it's in that point that you just raised as well, that women can be nurturing, feminine, caring, sociable, supportive, etc., more feminine traits, but men can also be these things. I mean, I'm not disagreeing with that, but the idea as well that women can also be aggressive, assertive, dominant, confident, ambitious, driven, etc. Again, I'm not disagreeing with the fact that anything could be anything. Humans are humans. We could be whatever we are. The question for me is more about the optimality of these traits and these decisions that we make. It's not optimal for men